Welcome back to another episode of Unsecurity. This week we're joined by one of our coworkers from Team Ambush, Morgan Trust. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. As she said, my name is Morgan Trust. First off, super happy to be here. Huge fan of you guys. So big fan. But yeah, super happy to be here. But yeah, I've been in IT for about 5 years. Started out as help desk, then got into cybersecurity. Um, Straight into pen testing from being in help desk for a few years. Got into it, had no idea what I was doing. Felt like, boy, I don't belong here. I have no idea what's going on. Then after some time, I felt like this was everything that I should be doing, and this is exactly where I'm meant to be. So super grateful that I get to do something that I absolutely love and I can't stop talking about. I guess you guys can share that same sentiment. So, but yeah, got the FRSecure, which really honed in all of my cybersecurity pen testing knowledge and just really, really focusing on the mission and the people that are here. Really just elevated what I knew and how much I really started to grow and really feel about this industry. So yeah, just a little bit about me.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Morgan. It's nice to hear kind of about your struggles getting into pen testing and security too,
Yeah, there
because
are
I
a lot of
know.
struggles, a lot of a lot of them, a lot of them. But yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because it's
It's
an
funny how
intimidating career field. I think, especially perhaps the red team pen testing side of things, there's so much competition or sometimes ego and everything that goes into that. It's good to hear that wasn't just like easy.
No, definitely not. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like I guess no one's. I mean, maybe some people, but I guess no one's really born a hacker. You're just born with having interests and having, different, facets that maybe you really like. I know for me, it was the social engineering part was the part that really stuck with me at first, because, I love meeting people. I love talking to people, so that kind of just transferred into that. And then from that, I was able to really understand cybersecurity from that perspective and then link that to other perspectives that I didn't really understand. And to today, I feel obviously being in it for 5 years is nothing because we got people on the team that's been there that's been hacking for since they were teenagers for years. But even where I am now, I'm very confident in what I do and confident in where I definitely will see myself in the future with this. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Evan says it best. A definition of a hacker is somebody who makes things do something they weren't intended to do, right?
Yeah,
So, like, you may not have been hacking IT systems, but that mindset and that thought process, I'm sure, was probably always there of
yeah,
you could do
absolutely.
things that weren't conventional.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. Anytime like my very first experience with computers was anytime when I was younger and mom would leave for work, go to the hospital, do her nursing. I would see, can I take apart the computer, put it back together before she gets home and yells at me asking what's wrong with the computer. So it's kind of just like, can I figure it out? Can I figure out different parts? Can I, what happens if I unplug this? What happens if I undo this? Da 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 da. And, stuff like that. That's really where it started. But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's awesome. I know when I have done some security awareness training for people, I like to describe social engineering similarly and be like, oh yeah, my kids are trying to social engineer me all the time to get a cookie or whatever. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, how long have you been with us? Just over a year now, right?
Yeah, just over a year. Yeah, I got here. I believe uh,
What-
it was the day of the company party
Okay, I
last
remember
year.
meeting
So
you. That was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So that was a big shock, big shock
So,
coming
did you
here.
go to DEF CON last year?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and
Coming up
we'll
next
be
week.
going to DEF CON next week. So crazy how time flies. But yeah, went to DEF CON last year, Hack RedCon last year,
Okay.
and this year. Yeah, absolutely.
Those are just such a great learning experience. Plus, it's nice to get, medals.
Yeah. Maybe it's more important that we're learning.
Right.
It's more important that we're learning.
but
wink, wink. But yeah, winning is awesome. Winning is
we're
great.
we're
We
we're,
love that.
we're all competitive.
Yeah, we
There's
need
a
that.
reason.
Yeah, for sure.
I
So,
think I think you've kind
oh,
of
go
got
ahead.
to be in pen testing. You got to be have that competitive nature mindset probably because you've
Got
got
to.
something driving you anyway. It's a
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And also the blue team too, right? You don't want the bad guys to win. You want to get in there and
want to win.
stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a motivation there.
Yeah, yeah. Even in like daily work, it's like, you definitely want to. I mean, in terms of competition, you just want to compete with your last test. It's just like my last test, maybe I saw these different things and I wasn't able to. And of course, it's not like, oh, I gotta beat the client. I gotta da 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 da. It's like, it's more just I want to be better than whatever I did in the past and just grow on whatever I learned, apply that to the next project, and maybe I'm able to find something here that I wasn't last time, or help that client better. So it's never me versus the client, just me versus me to help the client. But in terms of competing, it is me versus anyone else that is not Team Ambush. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in terms of daily work, it's just me versus me. But yeah, that competitive nature is still in it. Yeah, no matter what.
So I know you've been doing some speaking engagements for us.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
Oh man, just like you guys, man. I love talking. I don't. It's no, but really, it's. I've always really wanted to. I love the field. I really love everything about it. I love the people that are in it, and I just think that it's just a blessing that I get to do this job. Like it's a blessing that I get to do this job, and you know, anybody that talks to me about it, I have a million things to say. A lot of times, I try not to say too much because if I get to talking, I won't stop. So but I do love talking about it. I think I'm a person that I don't mind getting on stage, even though the first time I did it this year, I was sweating bullets and my heart was pumping and I could feel it in my face. But it's just, I do like that. I like, being on, a stage or in a certain moment and feeling nervous. I actually, I welcome that and, being able to represent Team Ambush, FRSecure, and be able to talk about something that I really love to other people and, just be able to do that is really, really cool. But more importantly, what I really like is kind of my favorite part of giving talks is right after it, after the talk, and people, talking to people and saying like, oh, I really like this, I learned this, or hey, I've heard about this. Have you heard about that? And I get to say, no, I've never heard about that. And then we get to, so that is really, really what I really wanted to do the talks for is what comes out of them. The different conversations, the different connections, the different perspectives that come out of giving a talk is what I really like about the talk. Obviously, I love talking, as you guys can see that. But most importantly, I love connecting with people, listening to others after they listen, to my talk. I know the last talk that I did in Denver, I gave it and a guy came up to me, said he really enjoyed it. I thought that was awesome. I asked him if he learned anything. He was like, oh, yeah, definitely. Pulled out his tablet, had a whole bunch of notes. I thought it was the craziest thing. I was about to like jump and do like and click my heels. I was just like, no way you took notes on what I said. But obviously it makes sense. He's just taking notes on a talk. But from my perspective, it's just like crazy that I said something that you really honed in on and, really wanted to grow that knowledge and take that somewhere else and, just keep spreading the word of, cybersecurity and, things like that. But yeah, that was really the motivation.
That's awesome. I suppose we should backtrack a little bit to our intro and
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, I guess so.
hobbies we're working on. I don't know if you've got one in mind, Morgan. That what do you enjoy doing outside of work right now?
Outside of work, yeah, outside of work, I like to lift weights. I like to. I was about to say I like to eat. That was actually the first thing I was about to say, but I don't want to say. But now I said it, so it is what it is. Yeah, like right now I'm training for a marathon, a half marathon. It sucks, but I really like it. I started because I was like, I don't like that I'm not good at running. I'm still not good at it, but I'm getting better at it, and that I really like that. Other than that, I like to box, just, learning it, just like learning anything. I like the art of it. I do love this. Megan, we were talking earlier. I love to sketch. I love to draw. I don't do it as much as I want to, but definitely want to get back into it. Other than that, just like walking around, spending time with the family, cooking. Um, love to dance. I love to sing. I love to sing in the shower. I love to sing when I can't hear myself sing. I like it when the music's louder than me, and I love scream singing. Um, yeah, love concerts, love movies, love comic
Nice.
books. Yeah, it's different things
That's
about me.
awesome.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you said your first idea was food, but it sounds like you've balanced that out very well with other activities.
yeah, definitely.
I top out on the running at the 5K. That's a good distance. It's far enough to feel like you've accomplished something, but still short enough that you're not like killing yourself.
I've never had a passion for it. I managed jogging for a little while, but not a long time. It's like I'll do it if I have to, and I don't want to. I like
Yeah.
other.
It's never
I
like
like
it's never a
hiking.
want to. It's never like a want.
Mhm.
I want to. Well, some
Some
people
people
want
do,
to
yeah.
run. I don't believe in runner's high. I haven't felt it. I don't know what that feels like. It's just I feel the run the whole way through. But it's definitely great to do. Even if you're out getting a walk or a hike or something like that. It's just yeah,
Mhm.
it is awesome to do that.
Awesome. How about you, Brad? What are you working on?
Yeah, so almost finished up with my Falcon.
Mhm.
So next month will be the final set. So I'm a little sad about that. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Um,
Might
yeah,
might be the Death Star next. That might be next. Unless you've
no,
done that already.
they have a 40-inch Darth Vader. So
Yeah, and I remember
we'll see.
next.
We'll see what the wife allows.
Yeah.
No, cooking. I do love cooking. Uh, so doing that, just kind of taking it easy this summer.
So,
What about you, Megan?
right now we're preparing to go to our county fair because the kids are doing working with llamas at 4-H or through 4-H again. We've been a little lazier about it this year, but they're still looking forward to the fair and getting their opportunity to show their llamas and be at the fair and just kind of have fun. And it's I'm taking work off because it's too much to try to balance squeezing in work after taking care of llamas and then going in the end of the night to take care of llamas again, plus fit in fair time and all the other stuff in the middle. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I think it's been summer feels like it got off to a slow start for me. I felt like I was working more than being able to enjoy my family and the warmer weather, and then we've been pumping it up, and it's kind of like now it's just like on speed run all the way up until school starts again because we've got something going on every weekend. So it's exciting, but I'll probably be ready to like hunker down back to work by the time of mid-February or mid-September comes along. So yeah, well, awesome. Morgan, so I understand we're have you on today to talk about the presentation that you gave. Was that the one that you gave in Colorado?
Yeah. It's the same one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was on. The title was "The New Era of Deception: AI, Deepfakes, and the Dark Web." Um, and given it a few times this year. Pretty much, really talking about how um, these social engineering or these business email compromise attacks have started, how they've grown, how they've matured, how the attackers are doing very sophisticated attacks. That was kind of the biggest thing about it is how they're doing these very sophisticated attacks, these very impactful attacks in very simple ways. That was, the biggest thing that I really, really, really wanted to drive home, and exactly how common, this is, how common it is that organizations are getting exploited by people, and also, after I get through pretty much the meat and potatoes is how scary, horrifying, and how crazy this stuff is. And then at the end, talking about, how can you mitigate this? What can you do to eliminate or not, mitigate these risks and try to thwart these attackers and really drive home that it's not about, because I know, even in the questions at the end, there is, oh, is there like a tool that we can use? Is there this? Is there that? In which there's different tools or different techniques, but really the biggest thing at the end driving home was it's about layered security. It's about strong passwords. It's about MFA. It's about conditional access policy. It's about that, and then it's about also educating. Having a plan, testing your plan, not about if it'll happen, but about when it'll happen and what you'll do in response when that does happen. Obviously, hoping it never happens, but planning for when it happens. And that was pretty much the talk. But yeah, talking about how those how those phishing emails have matured, going into how AI is assisting that, talking about going on the dark web for different hacking. You can do hacking at your or phishing as a service. If you don't want to do it, you can hire someone else to do it. Also talking about proxy phishing, but yeah, pretty much just how horrifying it is, and just, but not being scared of it, just being knowledgeable of it and educating yourself and the people at your organization.
It's funny you mentioned that. We were late recording because I was on the radio, and the host was asking like, "How do you tell these phishing attacks have gotten so good?"
Yeah,
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, yep. Don't click on any links. Go to the website of the company. I mean, that's really all you can do."
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know we put in there, in the presentation, it talks about how we having like a lookalike domain, so maybe it's not Microsoft.com, but it's something that looks very similar, or maybe it's a different login that you go to all the time, and the URL looks pretty close. Maybe if something I mentioned is, if you wake up in the morning, maybe your coffee hasn't hit yet. Maybe you came back from lunch. You're feeling good. You got a full stomach. You're feeling real good. It's that 1 p.m. feeling. The day's ending soon. You get an email talking about, maybe it looks like it's from your boss. Maybe it looks like it's from a coworker. Maybe it just looks like it's from whatever. It's like, whatever. I'm hanging out. I'm chilling. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna click on it, and if I gotta log in to see it, or maybe somebody sends me a resume when I get back from lunch, and you're just feeling good, like, and they send you something that's in a OneDrive link, and it's just like, we use one. If your company uses OneDrive, and it's like, oh, this is a familiar link. It's no problem. Let me click on it, and then you go ahead and do that, and then you got to sign in to look at the resume. Sure, whatever. I'll log in. It's just I log in all the time. I do the
Yeah.
MFA all the time, but the entire time somebody could be sitting in their crib. They captured your username, captured your password, captured your session cookies from the MFA, and all they got to do is set up their own MFA. The whole time you were just relaxed off of a good sandwich, but they ended up, taking your data, and now they have your account. And it's just how easy and quick that is. It's even if you're the most, even me, I feel like I can tell AI and things like that. I know right now on TikTok, people are talking about videos of these bunnies jumping on this trampoline. And it was
Yeah.
like, it's just, I don't know. I just thought it was cute. I liked it. And then I kept scrolling. And then I found out that was AI. I didn't know. I thought it was just cute
Yep.
bunnies all hanging out together, jumping on trampoline. So it's just like, obviously that's maybe an elementary way of seeing it. But it's like, you know, these things are getting better. It's not like, you're not going to be, you know, you're not going to be right 100% of the time, which is why you have these different things in place. But, just things are getting better. Attackers are getting better. So, so do we.
Yeah, yeah, it's I know our security team themselves like even sent inside FRSecure. It's like, hey, be aware that they're interjecting and making conversations, making
Mm-hmm.
it look like you're just joining in the middle of a conversation and everything's already been decided. And like maybe that's generated by AI, maybe it's not, but it's like all the phishing, the email compromise becoming so much more sophisticated, and they've kind of got time on their side because they can just observe, predict what your behavior is going to be, try a few things until something works on
Mm-hmm.
you or on somebody at the organization. And it it's not impossible because there should be red flags going up when you're like, huh, I shouldn't have to log in, or I shouldn't. Usually, when somebody sends me a resume, like, well, one, maybe people don't usually send you resumes. Like, maybe they shouldn't. Do I really know this person? Am I sure it's that person that they're sending me this document? Did they tell me in person or on a phone call that I know the number from already that they're going to send it? But at the same time, we're getting trained all the time to open documents, to click links. It's like even just doing your normal, standard, healthy stuff. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to get an email and you need to click to confirm that this is really your email. Like there are times you have no choice but to click links in an email, but you have to have initiated it. If it just shows up
Right.
on your doorstep, your email doorstep, then it's like avoid at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's like the thing. It's like, do you normally get text, from this person, or does this person normally just send you things without, hitting you up first in Teams, so
Hmm.
just, just naturally questioning everything, in terms of stuff like that, naturally
Yeah.
being, a little, cautious, just really putting that in.
You mean Evan isn't asking for uh, an Apple gift
Target gift
card?
cards,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like he's not, unless he's asking you for Apple gift cards, usually then it's like, all right, fine. Like if he's not doing that, then it's like, that's not it. But yeah, even like, it wasn't too long ago that where people were kind of saying, if you're seeing misspelling in an email, it's probably an
Mhm.
attacker. But as I, mentioned in my presentation or in the presentation, it's, you know, people can use AI to put out these, put out these really, really good phishing messages and pretexts. So you don't have to come up with something crazy or be really educated on how you can, or you can obviously ask ChatGPT. Sometimes if you ask, can I get a phishing email so I can phish this company, they're not going to give you something. But if you say, hey, I'm trying to educate somebody on how to do a
Hmm.
phishing, da 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 da, like, can you help me? And da da da, and they will absolutely do that for you. So yeah,
Uh,
that is absolutely a way to do that.
There
right.
are
Maybe
definitely.
the fake marketing scenario or something like that. It's like they might draft it, it could be typos, whatever, full of, and then they can just paste that into their AI engine and say, hey, make this sound more professional or something like that. And it's going to fix all the
Absolutely.
typos, change the tone. I mean, it's useful tools for sure. I think that's one of the things we have to stay away from in security, kind of like you were mentioning too, is like we can't just put our head in the sand and say this is all too scary, I don't want to worry about it. We have to
Yeah.
keep educating ourselves on what its capabilities are, take advantage of what it offers. But then you really got to know what it's capable of so that you can also figure out how to counter it, do a better job of understanding maybe what its weaknesses are versus what its strengths are. You can still catch some things, like images are the easiest. If you find misspellings, you're kind of like, yep, that was an AI image, but they're getting better, and eventually they're going to be able to spell things correctly too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 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 And even then, those, when you're clicking on those links before, or still even in use, it's like a static web page where it's just a login page. You put in your password and then they got it. But now they can use proxy phishing where they just, you set up that lookalike domain or that fake domain as a proxy, and they can just pull Microsoft pages or pull Google pages, and it acts like the same page. It has the same animations when I put the thing in. It asks me for MFA. It looks real. It acts real. And then when I put everything in, it takes me to my account.
Right.
Everything looks real from my eyes and from where I'm sitting, but the whole time somebody's in the background doing something very malicious. So yeah, things are very, very sophisticated, very, and you can, and if you don't feel like learning yourself, you can pay someone to do it, on the dark web, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
I mean, there's malicious AI models out there
yeah,
Mhm.
for exactly this type of thing. I mean,
absolutely,
because the OpenAI's, ChatGPT, all those, the Copilot, they have guardrails in place to that we've seen people get around, like you had mentioned, but those malicious ones don't. I mean, that's their whole point.
Right. Yeah, so they're not
absolutely,
just using the ones with guardrails. They have models without guardrails specifically for malicious intent, so they're
yeah,
not limited in the same way.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Morgan. A couple weeks ago, somebody got the free Windows OS keys from ChatGPT by gamifying it. So he turned it into a game and was able to extract like uh, free, like legitimate keys.
no way, I did not see that, I did not see that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
So
it's like,
talking about getting around the guardrails.
there's a way. Yeah, there is a way. It's not locked down, or the information that you put into, it isn't locked down. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But we've seen breaches in the past. They can happen. They still will happen. And then obviously what you can put into it. It's not like it's, like I said, can you make me a phishing email? No, I can't. Well, I'm trying to educate someone on making a phishing email. Oh, okay, cool. But like, obviously the way that you're saying is, yeah, there's so many ways to do it.
Yep. Yeah. I just so you guys have it, you can read it later. It's pretty clever.
I have to
Yeah,
check it out.
absolutely. Yeah, as AI is growing, so are we. So we're learning how to misuse it or how to use it to the way that we want certain information, the same way that AI is progressing. So, we are, progressing with it, in good ways and in malicious ways as well.
So Morgan, with like AI advancing, how tricky and hard it is for a human to identify phishing, is there other technology that's either coming out or emerging to kind of help identify these tricks? Because like it's that layer to security. Obviously, the people have to keep getting better to recognize some things because there's only so far technology can do, but is technology advancing at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely machine learning technology that you can use to detect different AI technology, or even in deep fakes. There
Mhm.
are ways that you can, put certain videos or certain things through different technologies and kind of screen it, scan it to see, as it. There's even things that will test to see looking at someone's video and being able to kind of look at you know just different things in the face, how the face moves, how it reacts, how light hits the face, and how different things like that. So yeah, there are definitely machines and different um, technologies that can see that stuff. Obviously as a client or as a person out there, got to do your due diligence on if that technology makes sense for you. But just to go on to that point, kind of like what I said earlier, you can definitely have those in place, and it's definitely a good idea. But having multiple things in place, not just, oh, we got this machine learning, technology, and it's got good reviews. We'll use that, and if it passes that, it's good. Having more than that, like I mentioned, that layered security. You know, maybe they got a video on their laptop. Can they also go on their phone? Can it,
Mhm.
does it look like the same person from different devices? Can they hold something up? Can they hold up an ID? Can they do a certain whatever? If you ask them to do something random, if you ask them to turn around or anything like that, just having those different techniques, multiple techniques to use. But yeah, there are absolutely technology that can spot that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard about that changing positions and stuff, but I know like more of that's been coming into hiring practices and things, and you might end up with,
Hmm.
yeah, someone deep faking the interview, and then how do you spot that? And so, yeah, learning how to spot trick or outsmart those AI imitations is that's good.
Absolutely.
That's good knowledge to know and to share. Um, yeah, it's like you need it kind of seems like you're going to need some degree of AI to help detect the AI to help stay on top, but it's not flawless either. It's still not an easy button. It's not like you buy, I think you were saying, this one tool that's like, yep, I'm going to automatically catch all of your, like, there's never been one solution for spam email filters, right? It's going to be the same thing for AI and catching those technologies. There's still not going to be one easy button, one everything. Brad and I were just going through some of Evan's CVC program training and reviewing some of it, and I like how he's like, yeah, avoid all the tools that say always, guarantee, never
Yeah.
have to do this again. If it says that, red flags all the way.
Yeah,
Don't believe the
absolutely.
promises.
Yep.
It's got to be that layered. You have to take a strategic approach and know, okay, if it gets past this, then what? What's my next layer of protection? So
Exactly.
awesome. I know we should probably wrap up here because we've been talking for almost
About to
30
say I could
minutes.
be on here for hours with you
Oh,
guys,
so
man. I'm having
good.
I'm having a great
Good.
time. But yeah,
Yeah.
nah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, you guys are awesome.
So yeah, we'll have to have you back, Morgan. It's been a blast talking with you today.
Yeah, same.
To wrap it up, is there anyone or organization you want to express gratitude to?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't go too long winded, but definitely my family. My mom, for sure. She's definitely a huge motivation for me. My family is definitely an iron sharpens iron type of family. They definitely motivate me. We all motivate each other to, do better, want better, and, to keep being better. My brother, he's an incredible musician. I look up to him, and the same way he looks up to me. We're just very, we just push each other to do better. My uncle, he definitely pushes me to, my uncle's funny. It's like I'll do something good or I'll win something and I'll tell him about it. And he's just like, awesome, keep winning. Like, awesome, keep doing it. Just like, the next thing, the next win. And, so that's really motivating for me. And then other than that, definitely glory to God and shout out Team Ambush and, shout out FRSecure and shout out you guys, for allowing me on the platform to, talk your ear off and hang out with you guys. I'm very, very appreciative of it.
Our pleasure. How about you, Brad?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to our business development team. Met with them last week. Yeah, uh, and they came with a bunch of really good questions and in questions that in ways that approaches that I hadn't anticipated or wouldn't have thought of. So it's fun to get that exposure to non-security people who are trying to talk about it and some of their struggles. But yeah, they have great questions, and it's going to be a fun ongoing uh, process there, meeting with them on a regular basis.
I think I want to send a shout out to my team managers, to Sean, Melissa, and Ryan. It's such a pleasure to work with them, and every single one of them is so unique and special and has such passion of their own and is helping me be better in my role and our teams be better. And their jobs are hard. They've been learning firsthand, I guess you could say, for the last year of just the new challenges that being a manager brings and being responsible for not just your passion and the clients and wanting to keep the FRSecure face moving forward, but then caring for all the different team members and all the struggles that each individual person goes through and helping them be the best that they can. I think they're all awesome and I appreciate them a lot. I know that they're just working their hardest, doing their darndest to be the best FRSecure, the best managers that they can be, bring the best team forward. So appreciate them, everyone.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Morgan. We will definitely have to have you back again, and we'll wrap it up. I don't think we know what we're doing next time yet, so stay tuned. And as always, reach out to us at Unsecurity at FRSecure.com if you have any feedback, or there's a feedback submission form on our website as well. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.